Hey guys, it's Chris. From extreme riptides to a rising number of shark attacks, here are 12 of the most dangerous beaches in the world. Let's not go to any of them, and let's do it together. Number 12. Virginia Beach. Virginia is a state that's very popular for its various vacation spots, and for good reason. It has Jamestown, Yorktown, and of course, you can go to the beach. But the Virginia Beach location may be a place you want to avoid. For while it has great weather and a great-looking beach, it's the little things that might turn you off. You know, like foxes and hogs that ransack the beach and attack those who are trying to relax. And no, this isn't a joke. For whatever reason, there is a group of foxes that like this beach, and they're not afraid to attack both people and pets to get them off their territory. Foxes can be quite mean and vicious, even though they're cute. So that alone should be enough of a warning. And yet, that's not all. There are apparently feral hogs. Yeah, not regular hogs. Feral hogs that are also known to walk the beach, and if provoked, they can get just as mean as the foxes. According to travel agents, it's best to just forget Virginia Beach and head to a much less dangerous one just 2 hours away. Number 11. Reunion Island. While it may be a bit to the east of Madagascar, which is right next to Africa if you recall, Reunion Island is actually a French island. And leave it to the island to make an island like this a beach resort. For the record, I approve. If you want to hang out on the sand and get some sun, I'm all for it. However, when it comes to the waters of Reunion Island, not everything should be praised. You see, for a long time, the island was safe, and people loved going there. Until sharks came along and started attacking people, quite randomly I might add. While one shark attack is bad, it doesn't make it common, but since 2011, there have been 20 shark attacks, 8 of which resulted in a person being killed by the attack. What's just as bad is that the latest one was only last year, showing that for whatever reason, the sharks aren't leaving. Because of the attacks and the fact that there's no clear reason why the sharks are focused on the island, there's been a steep drop in tourism for the island, and I can't blame them. Marine biologists and shark specialists are still investigating why these attacks have increased so much, and why the sharks here are more aggressive than normal. Number 10. Hanakapi Beach. Hawaii is a place to go for a vacation in paradise. But anyone who pays attention to the island knows that it's never that simple, and even tragedy can happen in paradise. There are plenty of safe and fun beaches for you to go to in Hawaii, but Hanakapi Beach is not one of them. And honestly, it's for a very simple reason. You see, this beach is for riptides or rip currents. To put it basically, a riptide is a small stretch of water that actually has a current all of its own, and getting caught up in it can be really deadly. Don't get the wrong idea, it won't pull you under the water, but instead, it'll actually pull you out into the sea and you'll die in various ways there. The worst part about riptides is that they're virtually impossible to spot. They look like regular patches in water, and getting caught in one can be fast and random depending on where you are. The true tragedy of Hanakapi Beach is that the island warns about the riptides, but people ignore them and they go to the beach anyways. And so that same sign that warns about it also has a tally of all the people who've died because of it. And now for number 9, but first, if you're new here, I want to say hi, welcome. Be sure to subscribe before you leave. Number 9, CHOWPATTY Beach. By this point, you're probably shocked that I've revealed beaches in sacred places where you thought there could be no wrong. And here's another one, India, specifically CHOWPATTY Beach near Mumbai, India. This beach is actually one of the most popular beaches in the massive country, which is both a boon and a curse. For you see, the beach itself is very populated, which is good, but the people who go there, well, they don't take care of the beach, so it's actually one of the most polluted beaches in the world. You could get injured just by stepping on the sand and getting impaled by something that got buried there. What's more, because it's so crowded, despite all the trash, there's a greater chance of getting sick simply because everyone is in close proximity to each other. Now, India's a big country, so go against the grain and go to a beach that isn't as famous or popular. You'll be all the better off for it, I promise. Number 8. Handsby. This is a tale of 2 beaches, or should I say, 2 things to do on one beach. For in South Africa, the beach known as Handsby is famous for its great white sharks, which happily populate the area because there are an influx of seals right on the shore. Because of this, there are numerous businesses that offer the chance for vacation goers to be put in a shark tank so that they can see them doing their thing, or even just to observe them up close. This is perfectly legal and perfectly safe, barring the shark breaking the cage, that is. However, I don't recommend you going to the beach to do, well, beach things. For not only are there fur seals to deal with, if you go deep enough into the waters, the great whites might mistake you for lunch, and it's apparently happened in the past. So just don't risk it, because weirdly, the shark cage is actually safer. Number 7. Cape Tribulation. Tribulation is defined as a cause of great pain or suffering. So to name an entire area off that word, yeah, you know it must be dangerous. Cape Tribulation can be found in Australia, near southern Queensland specifically, and it's not a place to visit unless you absolutely have to. Because this place is home to a plethora of creatures who are all too happy to get in your grill, make you feel pain or suffer. What animals, you're asking? Well, how about jellyfish, or venomous snakes, and even crocodiles? Any one of these can ruin your day, week, month, or even life. But there's still more. There's a bird out in these parts called the cassowaries. These are flightless birds, but they weigh up to 160 pounds and they can be very aggressive. And even the trees are dangerous. There's a tree on the beach that looks inviting via its berries, but the leaves on the tree are sharp and will sting you if you touch it. Listen to the name and don't go to this beach, okay? Number 6. Fraser Island. What's that? Good to know there's only one dangerous beach in Australia? Well, who told you that? Because it's not true. For while Cape Tribulation is bad, Fraser Island is just as bad, if not worse. Weirdly, this is another beach that's near Queensland, but this one has even more threats both in and out of the waters that look oh so inviting. For example, in the waters, there are jellyfish that are quite venomous, which is not something you'll want to risk. Oh, and there are also sharks, something you'll really not want to risk. And that's still not all. The waves and tides of this beach are very harsh, so if you try to swim in it, you'll likely get hurt just from the water alone. But what about the land, you ask? Is it safe there? Nope. For while there may not be snakes or weird flightless birds, there are dingoes. And while dingoes don't technically attack humans all that often, do you really want to risk it? Besides, who goes to a beach and just sits on the sand? Number 5. New SMYRNA Beach. I bet you were hoping Florida didn't make it on this list, but you could argue that Florida has one of the most dangerous beaches of all, for they have New SMYRNA Beach, which is affectionately called the shark attack capital of the world. In 2017, there were 9 shark attacks. In 2016, there were 15. There's just something about this beach that draws in the sharks, so unless you're willing to go to the very edges of the beach and stay there, I highly recommend you try one of the much safer beaches in the area. Number 4. PRAIA ZIPOLITE. Remember how I was telling you about names and how they could signal you about something or another? Well, PRAIA ZIPOLITE in Mexico has a very dark nickname. Yes, even worse than shark attack capital of the world. This place is known as the Beach of the Dead. Now, before you get the wrong idea, no, this isn't a beach with zombies on it, but could you imagine if it was? No, this beach has a much more simple and dreaded terror: riptides and undercurrents. Both of these phenomena are known to grab and drag beachgoers out to sea or under it, killing them in the process. In fact, PRAIA ZIPOLITE once had a death rate of 50 people per year, though this is technically unconfirmed, which is why it's a bit lower on the list. Still, someone had to help create that rumor, and if you're in Mexico, just don't go to PRAIA ZIPOLITE. Number 3. Praia de Boa Viagem. Brazil is a beautiful country from start to finish, and it's got plenty of beaches for you to visit. One of the ones you should avoid, though, is Praia de Boa Viagem, and you can find it next to the city of Recife. And since it started up as a beach in 1992, the beach has been infamous for shark attacks. In fact, there have been 50 reported ones since the opening. Now, while that may only be 3 shark attacks a year, would you really want to risk being one of those 3? Especially if I told you that 19 of those 50 were deadly attacks. Scientists believe the shark food source and currents have changed, getting the sharks all confused, and they're working on creative ways to save both the sharks and the surfers. As if that wasn't enough to scare you, the beach is known for thieves and pranksters, so it's probably best if you look elsewhere in Brazil for some fun. Number 2. Kilauea. Back to Hawaii, but this time to a beach that isn't so much a hazard because of creatures, but because of nature itself. Kilauea is a beach that's next to a volcano, and because of this, it's a rather unique beach with black sand. So that makes it a visual wonder, but not something to be in long term. If you don't believe me, here's a quote from a professional about the beach. Volcanic fumes and ash are often more of an irritant than anything else, but babies, young children, and older visitors in particular should be careful to protect their eyes and lungs from too much exposure. Additionally, if and when the hot lava enters the ocean, it's best to avoid swimming in that area. So yeah, not the best place to set up a relaxing spot. Again, guys, it's Hawaii. There are plenty of fun beaches to go to that won't ruin your lungs and burn you alive. Number 1. MORECAMBE. Here's another place I bet you weren't expecting to find on this list. The United Kingdom. And yeah, they have one of the most dangerous beaches in the world, and it's simply because the very sand you're standing upon is a death trap waiting to eat you alive. Well, how so? Well, MORECAMBE is known for quicksand. Yes, literal quicksand. And while it won't sink you to your death like the movies show you, they're still quite dangerous. What's more, the area is known for numerous obstacles, tricky waters that can drag you to your doom, and much, much more. In fact, the beach was so dangerous that the locals actually tried to make it safer. And the result? Well, the machines they use actually got stuck in the quicksand. MORECAMBE is also known as a treacherous place. So there you have it, guys. Some beaches I highly recommend not going to on vacation, though I would kind of want to check out that black sand beach in Hawaii. Have you ever been to any of these beaches? Are they really as bad as they seem? Let us all know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.